Welcome to the Summers Woodworking Show. It's Season 3, Episode 29, and tonight we're going to be talking about workshop operations. And I'm going to start off with roll call. To my left is Charles. You want to tell everybody who you are, where you're at, and what you do?
I'm Charles Derry, and I do anything I can get away with, but I do scroll sawing primarily, and scroll saw pattern designing, and I also recently got an X-carve, so I am toying around with that, and it's not as easy as it looks. I have a website called woodenvisions.com. I'm on YouTube as Charles Deering Scroll, and Facebook is the Charles Deering. Take it away, Brian.
All righty.
Hey, oh, for those wondering, yes, I colored my facial hair because I'm tired of looking like I'm 60.
All right. Okay, Chris, how about you, sir?
You're still presenting me.
Oh, crap. Let's see here.
Yeah, nobody wants to see that, trust me.
All right, I'm Chris Ahern, a little town called Framingham, right outside of Boston. I do a little bit of everything for woodworking, from small projects to furniture projects. Let's see what else. How much harder? I wasn't ready. Anything from toys to a couple kitchen implements. I'm really just getting to the point where I'm got a design style of my own right now, but getting there. Just finished the desk for my wife, and now it's time to run through the Christmas project. So,
Cool.
you find me on the Old Cranky Workshop on Facebook, and also on YouTube under Crystal Wheeler. Still haven't fixed that.
Okay, cool.
New player.
Now we got Dave now. Hey, Dave.
Hey, Brian. Hey, guys.
How's it going?
Oh, good.
You want to tell everybody who you are, what you do, and how you can be found?
Yeah, okay. Dave Gatton. You can find me on YouTube under Dave Gatton, or you can find me on Facebook and also Twitter under Dave Gatton, Sidewinder CNC.
Cool. So can you tell people what you do?
Well, I do a little bit of everything. You know, I just build whatever I need for the most part, and sometimes I do stuff just for the heck of it. You know, of course, y'all know I like to play on the CNC a little bit.
Oh, how dare you!
I know that's not woodworking. I know that's not real woodworking. But you know, you can call me what you want. I don't care. I got thick skin. So anyway, yeah, I make a little bit of everything. I haven't really done much the past, I guess, month. Part of the time I was on vacation, and for another time I've had some issues with my house. I got some construction stuff going on and all that, so that's kind of taken a priority over all the fun projects. But I do have some cool stuff coming up that I'll get to eventually. Right now I just have to get some of the stuff on the house done.
Hey. Okay, how about you, Jerry?
Jerry probably wants a crafter. I'm doing hopefully 365 videos in a year on YouTube. I do shows every week now selling my stuff, and I do everything, even CNC, even though that's not claimed woodworking apparently.
And I'm Brian Gidney. I'm your host. I'm not a woodworker. I'm a complainer. Welcome to my show. Anyway, tonight we're going to be talking about workshop operations. So, that being said, Charlie, you want to tell everybody what you do when you walk into the shop to the point that you complete a project, or at the end of the day of a normal day for you. Also, can you also open up the YouTube watch list and check the chat session over there? during the show?
If I can figure out how to do that, I'll be more than happy to, sir.
Go to YouTube and look like you're going to watch the show, but catch the comments on the side of it.
Okay, is it all right if I answer your questions first?
Yeah, you can answer the questions, but I'm just saying, get ready, you know?
Can you repeat the question, please?
Okay, when you walk into your shop, what's the first thing you do? And what do you do all day?
I sit in my computer room. I'm kidding. I walk in and scream at all the spiders. Turn on my bug zapper if it's nighttime because it's Texas. No, seriously. Being that I scroll saw 99% of the time, first thing I do is make sure everything I'm going to need during scrolling, like blades for when they break, and my clamp mechanism, lighting, and because of YouTube, make sure that got the camera where I want it and get an idea of where I want to move it around to. Make sure my project is ready. I don't always. Well, you talking about before the project or throughout the whole process?
Throughout the whole process.
All right,
I want you to tell people what makes you tick.
I'm not quite sure. And you probably don't want to ask my wife either because she'll probably say I'm not ticking. But anyway, what I do in scrolling, you have to drill a pilot hole for every freaking hundreds of cuts you decide to do because you had to be a man and do some detailed pattern and spend 3 hours drilling pilot holes. Then you patiently cut out each one and then you sand it, and then the angels come and the lights on you and hallelujah, and then you can't wait to get that video up after you edit it. It's really kind of generic for me to say what I do when I walk in the shop. I think that's pretty much. I wish.
Just kind of like give people an idea of what you do on a day-to-day basis. That's all I'm asking.
Yeah, I know that. When I'm scrolling, that's what I do on a day-to-day basis. Here lately, it's been fiddling with this CNC and trying to learn it and playing on the computer and doing honeydews in the house. But yeah, scrolling is my passion, and when I'm not actually scrolling, I'm usually working on scroll saw patterns. I have over 1,000 to date.
Cool.
Thank you.
So, you stay in your shop a lot, or you go in and out most of the time?
It's my second home. I only go out for the restroom purposes. I'm not allowed to smoke. I'm not allowed to smoke in the house, so that's another reason I spend a lot of time out here. So, because I'm an icky smoker. Yeah, I gotta.
Icky.
Icky too. No, I'm project minded, so I always got to be doing something. Whether or not it's something I want to be doing or need to be doing is a different story. But yeah, I try to stay busy doing something, either with my mind or my hands or both, and don't go there perverts. Alrighty then.
Charles. Okay, how about you, Chris?
You're still
Get
presenting
that
me.
camera on you.
All right, when I get out here, it's typical. Open the bay door, turn on the lights. Really depends a lot on the season. When it's late fall, winter, one of the first things I have to do is crank up the propane heater to get the heat running out here first. So warmer weather, it's the lights first, and I'm usually in the shop on Saturdays. So I'll crank up my computer so I can get my Irish music streaming from Boston. It's a low-power Irish station that plays all day on Saturday. So that kind of gets me in the mood for woodworking. Hand woodworking, by the way. I thought Irish love the hand tool. So
I got to give you heck, Chris. I'm sorry for interrupting, but we're having over 100-degree days here, and you're cranking up a heater. That just doesn't
not
compete.
right now. That's during the winter.
Oh, okay.
Right now.
Sorry.
Right now it's disassembled and sitting up in the rafters, but probably about mid-October it'll be coming down. And propane tank sits outside the bay door, and the heater takes up a good chunk of my floor space, so it's better than freezing. So keeps the shop toasty warm. Around January, February, early March, I usually have to abandon ship altogether because the heat doesn't keep up. So But it depends on the day too. Some days I'll turn on my radio Margaritaville. Some days my Irish music. And it also depends on the project that's being worked on. You know, a lot of times it's in and out type quick projects. But there's really no base of shop operations. You know, new manual like we have in work, an SOP manual, standard operating procedure. But one of the things I do try to do when I leave at night is make sure everything is shut down and things are unplugged. I'm not always successful at it, but I'm thinking about putting a master switch on the shop so you hit the switch and everything shuts down at once.
Yeah, that's a
The
good idea.
only thing is I have to find a way to keep the beer fridge on a separate circuit because I don't want to shut that down. So,
There you go.
that's about it. It's like I said, there's no routine every day, but some things are standard. So,
Okay. How about you, Dave? You want to tell everybody what goes on with you?
Well, I'm probably different than most people in the fact that because my daytime gig, I sit in front of a computer and draw in SolidWorks all day. So any kind of project I do, there's very seldom a project that I think about doing and just go out there in the shop and do it. Usually I design everything, draw it up, make a set of prints, and you know, that's what I do during the week. And then because I still work full time, I'm pretty much a weekend warrior when it comes to woodworking. So, you know, on Friday when I get off, if I don't have the material I need, I'll make a run to Lowe's and get material or whatever, and then finish up my drawings and then get out there. And that's, you know, I'm just weird that way, I guess. That's the way I like to work because I'm used to working that way at work in sheet metal. So I've just kind of done the same thing with woodworking. You have a set of prints and you go out there, and it doesn't matter whether you're using that godforsaken CNC or if you're using a table saw or bandsaw, whatever it is. You know, you have a plan, you have drawings, and all I have to worry about is making my pieces or parts to the print. And to me, that just makes everything go so much easier. I'm not very good at going out there and just winging it. I know a lot of people are, and I'm just not one of those people. I like to draw things out and have it all planned out and know that everything's going to fit. All I have to worry about is making it to the print.
I hear you. That way you're more productive while you're in there.
Well, yeah, and especially, you know, if I am using the CNC, I try to plan it out where if I'm firing up the CNC, you know, I've been running a CNC a long time, so I don't really particularly care to sit there and watch them. To me, they're a very productive tool, but they're not that productive if you're just sitting there watching it going, ooh, that's cool, you know. So I just, you know.
Right now they are.
Well, yeah, they probably are to some of you guys that just got one, but for, like I said, I've been doing this a long time, so
right,
to me, it's more important to you know that the program's going to work. I can preview it with my software, know it's going to work, and I set it up and I hit the button, and while it's running, I'm over doing something else. You know, whether it's using the table saw, bandsaw, you know, whatever it might be. So I look at the CNC as kind of another set of hands in my shop because you know, it's just not efficient for me if I'm sitting there watching it, you know, when I could be doing something else. Now sometimes the project is the type where it's all done on the CNC, so you do have to sit there and watch it. But even then, usually I'll go out and, you know, start a fire in the fire pit and throw my wood scraps in there or something. You know, I'm doing something else. I don't really like to sit and watch it unless it's a really quick cycle time.
Yeah.
You see, Dave, you're not building a good defense for the CNC where you say, I sit there and I watch it. You know?
Well, you know, when it's new, I did that a lot too. But like I said, I've been doing this a long time, so when I go out there and set up a program, I pretty much know it's going to run okay. Yeah. It's not always the case. You know, some things happen. Sometimes you don't get the bit tightened up in the collet good enough or something like that. I'm not saying I haven't screwed up, because I still do that every once in a while. But I just don't like to sit and watch it. I think it's it's an automated machine, so it'll run just fine without me sitting there watching.
Right, right. Now, you say you like to, I don't know, is it efficiency that you prefer to work from plans? You don't shoot from the hip, or?
Yeah, I'm terrible at trying to just go out there and go, okay, I'm going to make something, because I'll end up making mistakes and wasting material. But when when you plan it out, you draw it up, and I like SolidWorks. In case you guys don't know what that is, that's like a 3D modeling program. So you can model the whole thing up. You have a bill of materials. You know exactly how many of part A you need or whatever. So you just go out there and you just follow the plan, and everything always goes really smooth. You know exactly how many pieces to get. To cut. I guess I'm just anal that way, but
No, because I'm the total opposite end of that. Because I'll go out with a pencil drawing from a notebook while sitting at the bar, and tack it up on the wall, and I just start. Okay, I need sides, fill the sides, and
yeah.
I can.
And I've always admired people that can do that. Take like a bar napkin and go out there and just kind of wing it and make something.
Yeah.
I'm just not good at that, and I guess it's because of my, I've been doing the design engineering stuff for so many years that's just kind of in my brain now. I feel like I have to design it and have a good plan. But I really admire the people that can walk out there and just, well, I think I'll make this, and sketch it out, and next thing you know, they've got something made that's beautiful. So
That's interesting.
Yeah, that also covers a lot of trial and error too when you're just winging it.
I don't mind the trial and error, 'cause I look at it this way: I'm learning something along the way. So
Exactly. Yeah.
I learn from my mistakes more than I do reading instruction manuals.
Oh no, I'm not
stuff
putting
like
it down. I'm the same way most of the time.
I mean, we're rehabbing our
I
house.
got
and you look at the
plans on
mistakes I
how
made
to
in there.
build all this and build all that, but I don't like going step by somebody else's configuration.
Right.
I like
Well,
to just figure it out on my own.
I think when you make a mistake too, because of the frustration of it, it makes you remember how you fixed it, and that's
Exactly.
therein
Yeah,
lies
part
the
of
learning
being a
process.
professional is learning from your mistakes and how to correct those.
Absolutely.
yeah. Another thing I might add too, fellas, is a lot of times when I make a project, one of the first things you get is an email from somebody going, "Hey, do you have plans for that?"
Yeah.
I'm guilty.
So a lot of times I'll say, well, I kind of got plans, but they're only good enough for me to work off of. If you need them, then I have to go and kind of detail them a little more and stuff like that, which I do sometimes. But at least I've already got the jump on it, because I've already got the 3D model done.
My father-in-law is like that. He's great at working on houses. Every time I show him something I'll build, he goes, "Hey, where'd you get the plans for that?" I'm going, plans? No plans. He doesn't understand being able to shoot from the hip, but he could do it on a house though, which is amazing to me. Yeah, I'm the son of a contractor. We had to have blueprints when working on a house, but he could shoot from the hip while working on a house. But a smaller project, you can't fathom that for some reason. So it's just funny the way we look at different things. So,
Yeah.
all right, who's up?
Okay, Jerry, you want to tell everybody what you go and do in your shop?
Okay, pretty much everything that everybody else does, I don't do. I don't follow plans. I don't draw up plans. I tried that one day, and it seemed to be thrown away pretty quick. Start to finish, I walk out there, I flip on that fan and AC because it is over 100 before I get to the shop. And then I'll look around the shop and think I should clean something, but usually don't. And then just push enough room out of the way on the outfeed so I can cut some wood. And recently, it seems like I've got so many projects, I've got too many. Which is funny because then people take the small projects as I'm running out of ideas, but I've just got so many projects I spin circles in the room and get lost. And messing around with the the CNC on the side doesn't help because then you get distracted. You end up sitting there watching it, or you don't. And every time I seem to walk away, I forget to tighten the wood or the tool, and it makes a funny noise, so I got to run over there and shut it off and fix it. But
you've been doing a lot of shows here lately. That plays into a lot of projects, I imagine.
What kind of shows? Like selling the shows?
Well, like the Temple Santa Fe Days or whatever they call it.
Yeah, going to sell. I unfortunately have to look more for projects that I can batch out and sell versus doing the one-time fun thing.
Yeah.
So it's kind of confusing. But the odd thing is I don't have anything I've CNC'd on my tables yet. I like the machine, and I understand you can get repeatability, but it takes more time to set it up than it would be for me to just go cut it out on the saw and hand shape the thing. The gun rack's a good example. That thing, if I was to sit there and watch it cut it out, or not watch it, but let it cut it out on the machine, it would take 5-6 hours for me on the X-Carve. Not the world's fastest as it is, but it would probably take me about 20-30 minutes to go ahead and just throw that together using the bandsaw, scroll saw, and sand the parts to fit, But other than that, it's wrap up the camera and run into the house for editing. And I do actually have a breaker linked to the garage, so every time I walk in, everything gets shut off completely. And that's the end of the night for me.
Well, you did forget to mention the part where you throw things.
I found that I don't even have time to throw stuff
everything
anymore.
goes off. I thought when you walk in, everything goes on.
Well,
That's what I'm doing wrong.
But yeah, usually between 10, I try to stop at about 10 because of the neighbors.
Yeah.
And then I'll come in here and edit. And by the time I'm done with the video, it usually gets up before midnight. And then I will stay up till 2 trying to answer questions. And then complain when I got to get up in 4 hours, go back to work.
Yeah. I don't know how you do it, especially for this long. I could see doing it maybe a week or two, then I'd be burnt. I don't know how you keep doing it.
Hey, Jerry.
Yeah.
I'd just like to make a comment about your gun rack thing. You were talking about how you could probably just cut it out quicker, and you're probably right because it takes a while, especially with an X-Carve. My machine is a little beefier, and I can cut a lot faster than the X-Carve can, so I understand that. But one thing you might want to think about is if you've got a project in mind, instead of trying to cut the actual parts, what you might do is just use some MDF, which usually cuts really quick, and just make templates. And then you can, I do that a lot. I just make a template that I can, I'll take the bandsaw and cut the part out kind of rough, and then put that MDF template on there and just use a flush bit on the router table. And that's really quick, especially if you're making more than one. And of course, then once you've done that, you've got a template, so you can make it again at any time. You don't have to fire up the CNC. So I just want to
that's
point that out. I do that a lot.
Yeah, I do a lot of follow bit with the router, like the dog bones and all that. I have a template, and I'll clamp it on there and bandsaw it out real quick, and then use the router.
Mm-hmm.
But so far, my biggest problem is I've been cheap, and thank you for Home Depot for having them, but those Diablo bits wear out too fast. So I got to spend extra money and get me a white side or something expensive.
Yeah.
Well, he's talking, that's why.
Say when he's not talking.
Anywho. Now I can't get the thing to go. Okay, there we go.
All right, then.
Okay, well, since we went through all the topics here.
Oh, what's your routine, Brian? We haven't heard yours.
What's my routine? I already told you. I'm not a woodworker. I'm just a complainer, and this is my show.
You do very well. You do very well.
Well, do something, do it well.
What I usually do is when I walk into my shop, if it's hotter than hell, I turn the fan on because I don't have no AC. That's if I go out there and get it cooled off to work. I'll go out there. If not, I'm usually in here. Keep that dog quiet. Anyway, try to get through this without the dog barking. If I get it cooled off, I usually see what I got planned for the day. If I'm doing like reviews or whatnot, make sure that the shop looks clean. So I get it cleaned up, get the product. Before I do a review video, I usually sit down with the product, read all over the material, so I get familiar technically with it, and then I'll mess around with it for a while. Usually it takes up a couple weeks, but say like I'm doing a review, I'll sit down, make sure that the shop's clean, presentable, get everything organized. Then I try to get the camera set up, try to get all the lighting set up, and then sit there. Hopefully it's quiet enough to where I can talk. Otherwise I have to do a voiceover, and I don't like really doing voiceovers for reviews. So fight that between all the noise around here. So that's just for reviews, for like build videos and stuff. Pretty much the same routine, except for I could get away with voiceovers on a build video. And lately I haven't been talking on my videos as it is, because I had a guy tell me that I even sound fat. So
I'm too ugly for radio.
I says, you know what, you're right. And I didn't know this was a health channel. I thought it was a woodworking channel. But
That was a
besides
requirement.
that,
None of us would be here.
Besides that, lately it's been the X-Carve, trying to get it built, trying to learn the software that works with the thing. There's a program. It's called Chili Pepper. I still haven't even had a chance to really look at it, but it's supposed to be a little bit better than Universal G-Code Sender. And I can't get Universal G-Code Sender to work on my X-Carve. And I've seen videos where this lady, she got the UGS to do 3D carving on her X-Carve. So I know it's possible. I got video of it. And I can't wait to be able to do that myself, because I'm tired of just the 2D templates.
I don't even know what language you're speaking.
Okay, well, for the non-computer person,
There we go.
you got to have software for your hardware to work.
That's not what she said.
And if your software's not working for your hardware, it doesn't work.
Hey,
So,
Brian,
yes.
were you able to get that program to work that I sent you, the second one that had the 1/8?
I got the G code, and if I load it into Universal G Code Sender, it pulls up as a display, and I can see it. But by God, I can't get the X-Carve to do anything with it.
No, okay.
Now, I think I had it in easel one time, but that was for the 1/4-inch bit. And at that time, I didn't have the 1/4-inch bit, but now I do. So now I can just load it into easel and just cut it out.
Okay. Yeah, it'll cut a lot quicker with that 1/4-inch bit.
Yeah, and that second one for the 1/4 inch you sent me as a text file. I
Mm-hmm.
can load that in Universal G Code Center, and it'll read it, but I can't do nothing else with it.
Yeah.
So if I can't get Universal G Code Center to work, then
See, I guess I'm at a little disadvantage because not having an X-carve like everybody else. Hey, Russ. Um, I don't really know what you have to have. To me, it should be able to run any kind of G code that I send you. So I
yeah.
don't, I don't understand that, but I guess it's just because I don't
Well,
understand the X
you,
carve.
you need to play around with Easel. Easel's very limited right now. It'll export a G code, but it won't import a G code, which bites because I got a lot of G code files that that are 3D, and I wish I could just import that and have it cut.
Yeah, I also have a lot of stuff that I'd be willing to share with any of you guys that have X carves, but I just don't know how to give it to you in a format that you can use.
Well, all I know is for easel, it's SVG.
Yeah. I forgot what I was going to say, so I'll
Now,
stop.
if you can get the Universal G Code Sender or the Chili Pepper to work with your machine, then pretty much any G code would work in it.
And I know Brian's not slamming Easel. It's just it's a growing thing. They do.
Oh yeah, I'm not slamming them at all.
Yeah, most definitely. And the company is very good at listening to
and
feedback.
I've already talked to Michael about it, and he says that 3D carving's in the works.
Yeah.
As far as going into easel, so it's just all a matter of timing. But right now, as I'm new to this and I'm anxious, and 2D's fine to cut out some letters that I normally would need templates for, but I'd like to just make my own molding and stuff for boxes.
Well, I had people that had to give me a pep talk regarding it because I've been scrolling since 1997, and I don't want to sound arrogant in saying that I've mastered it, but to go from that to this thing where I can barely get a letter done without breaking a bit, it is so bloody frustrating. And I'll also be glad when easel allows a more clear vector, like the way you have the vector designed. It will vectorize it as is rather than having to mess with the threshold. I mean, that's not a complaint. I'm just hoping that gets better.
Oh, I think it will.
Hi, Russ.
Charles, you got something getting on your face. You need to get some bug spray real quick. It's
Oh
crawling.
my God! Oh my God! Oh, cool.
Hot shot.
But yeah, as far as 3D carving goes, I've heard that Universal G Code Center can do it if you can get that machine to work with your X-Carve. And I've known a lot of people are able to. However, I'm not right now, and it's frustrating.
Yeah, Brian, I sent an email to the people at Xcarve telling them, that I've been running a CNC a long time, but I use BCarve Pro, and I, obviously don't have an Xcarve, and wanted to know what I needed to do to share files, and they said, well, you can just send them the G code, and it'll run it with that universal G code reader, I think you said, but apparently it's not as easy as it seems.
Now, Tommy, he told me you hit the $X or whatever. I did that, and I keep getting an error saying that there's no alarm for this controller or something. And then if I click the next one, it says error. There's no such and such on this. And I click the next one, it says error. No such and such. I'm like, how in the world is this thing supposed to work?
Error.
Now as far as file browser, I can go to my file, load it, and then hit visualize, and a little window comes up, and it'll show exactly what I want to cut out.
But Brian, even you, wait, that didn't come out right. you've grasped easel more than I have. And Russ, I'm sorry, I know you don't play with CNC, so this sounds like we're leaving you out. I don't mean to. That wasn't a dig. I didn't mean. I just feel bad that we're talking about a topic you're not. Never mind.
Don't feel bad, Russ. I'm with you.
The thing with the problem I've been having with easel, and the reason why I'm breaking so many bits is you tell it what material you want or that you're using, and I personally think the depth per pass that they're suggesting is a little too deep. So I've got to where I adjusted that, and that's how I was able to get a project done. I also
Now, see, I got Aspire, and you can go in there and set all that. I can get a nice project going, and I can even do a demonstration to where it shows you how it's going to cut out and everything.
Yeah. Well,
but as far as putting it anywhere, I can't put it anywhere unless I get that universal G-code sender to work.
I haven't fiddled with that yet. I think the reason why I'm using easel, and this is going to sound like I'm sucking up, but it's because Inventables did such a great thing for me. I want to try to use their software to see what it can do, and this.
Well,
and that.
they even try selling, Aspire on their site.
Yeah, unless they give it away, though, I'll never be able to get it.
So if it wasn't compatible for their machine, you'd think that they wouldn't sell it, right?
I'm pretty sure it's compatible. We just don't know the secret yet.
So I'm trying to figure all this soup out, I want a little bit of flavor here, a little bit of flavor here, and then throw it all together and make some great soup.
For real.
Yeah. So I've been playing in Aspire, and I'm getting the hang of it. I know I can export SVG files out with it, but as far as 3D coding, it just doesn't load up in easel, man, and on SVG.
Sorry.
What's that say?
Well,
still showing my.
Well, you've went from how you start your day in the wood shop over to CNC routing.
Hey,
you've lost your way, Brian.
I'm known for that.
Ross, how do you start your day?
How do I start my day?
Well, I'll let Brian
read the obituaries, and my name's not in it. I know it's going to be a fantastic day.
All right.
Yeah, when I get into the shop, it's either, oh man, I wish I could go turn something, and nowadays it's, oh man,
well, you see,
can I design something for the next car?
I said, you got your little CNC router, Brian, out there, but you can't use it because it's so hot. I have AC in my shop.
Oh, that's all right.
So nana boo boo.
Never mind.
I'd still get out there sometime when it's cool enough to do it.
No, I think everybody else has said how they do, but I kind of like, I do both. I mean, I can have a set of plans or something and work on something I want to, but I do a lot of mine is just freehand. In other words, I just decide I'm going to make this, and off it goes, and here I make it. I mean, as far as now scrolling, I usually design my own patterns and everything inside on Corel Draw, and then bring those out to the shop and glue them to the wood and cut them out on my scroll saw. But if we're talking about building a table, the stand that my computer's on right now, I built this. I had no plans for it. I just come up with the idea. It's got a set of the rollers on the bottom was from an old office chair I used. And
hold on, Russ. We got a bunch of commotion saying that the screen's stuck on Charles, the screen is stuck on Jerry, and I got mine presenting you. So
I don't see anybody being presented, but that's just me.
well, no, not presented, but I got my square on you. If that makes sense.
Some of the most
yeah,
fun,
I'll just present you.
Some of the most fun on these shows is in the comments or in the private chat. Go ahead.
But anyway, yeah, like this computer table that I built. I mean, I just come up with it in my mind and saw what I wanted to do and built it. So there was absolutely no plans for it whatsoever. But to me, it's all about, I have a need for something, I usually can build it. But as far as scroll saw, yeah, I usually make all my patterns and glue them to the wood and cut them out. I don't do that freehand. I'm not that good.
So it's not handmade, huh?
No, it's made with a scroll saw. My hand pushed the wood around.
So you're telling me your patterns are computer generated?
Oh,
How dare you?
oh dear
They're
God.
computer generated.
Yeah, I can't get my fingernails sharp enough to make a cut on those lines. So I use
Yeah,
the
me
scroll saw.
neither. I prefer a tool over a rock and a sharp.
When I first started
Sharp
scrolling
edge.
back in the early '80s, though, there were not any computers, so that you pretty well had to hand draw it onto the wood.
Yep.
What you wanted to cut out. I
That
used
or
a lot
carbon
of
copy paper.
carbon paper. I used a lot of that. As a matter of fact, Charles still uses that to this day, for a lot of his patterns. But yeah,
Yeah, I know. He cheats.
yeah. But yeah, but for other things like, I've got several things like a bench or a stool or whatever. I don't ever make patterns for that. It just comes out of my head.
I hear you.
If I have something I'm going to do repetitively, I'll make a pattern and keep it, like, and show this. With cow, I make a Noah's Ark set, and I'll maybe knock out one or two a year, but I keep a whole stack of my animal patterns handy, cut them out on plywood so they don't get dented and changed. But when I cut them out, your hand doesn't always follow the line exactly, so each one is slightly different than the last set. So I think that's what makes them each set unique. So it still looks like a cow, but the hump might be a little further back than the last set. So I'm happy with that myself. I don't know if I could live with every one of my projects looking identical to the last time.
Yeah, that's one thing my uncle says is why he appreciated my scroll saw work. He said because there are going to be little imperfections, and he said he appreciates the time it takes for people to do things. My uncle and aunt are two of my biggest buyers because they love what I do, and and they like the fact that it takes time. And yes, there goes back to that debate of CNC, but I won't get into that because I'm grateful that I got it. But yeah, it's definitely that's the pride behind it. Each one is handmade, and no two are alike unless you stack cut them. Oops, I gave away the secret. Damn.
Yeah, I even seen somebody use a wood burner and hook it up to the CNC and used it to, do the wood burning.
That's a pretty cool idea.
Yeah, and I was like, wow, that's awesome. So back to Russ. What else do you do, Senor?
As far as
Shop.
in my shop
Operations.
shop operations, that's pretty well it. I mean, I try.
Any of you guys have like a photo booth set up in your shop where you take pictures of your projects? I know Jerry just got done making a little light box or soft box, whatever it's called.
I purchased mine. I got it off of Amazon with a lighting kit and everything, and it only was less than $100, so I was really happy with it. And it's made a big improvement on a lot of the stuff when I take photographs of my work.
Yeah, most of mine are too big to do that, but when I did the stagecoach video, I used that little photo booth. That's a very neat thing.
Yeah.
Well, if you wouldn't make 8-foot high patterns,
By God. Go big or go home, baby.
exactly.
Okay, I'm going to try to stop this presenting things and let it go on its own. So, I guess you're done, right, Russ?
Yeah, I mean, every day I come out. Well, I went when I went to California and come back. I was out. I didn't even come in the shop for almost 3 weeks. So I'm finally starting to get back into things. And then It's starting to slowly progress, but I am doing another project, which is a home project. It's a honeydew project. Our stove went out a while back, so we got a real nice stove that I'm installing. Unfortunately, I didn't think about it until I'm about halfway through to about taking pictures. So I got a few pictures I'm gonna post before it's all over with. But
Oh, that's cool.
yeah, I'm slowly getting going back into the shop. I haven't produced a video or done anything in like 3 or 4 weeks. So usually I'm out here on a daily basis. So it was really I think that California trip, which was 7 days on the road, really broke. It got my timing off, so to speak. I still haven't got back to where I'm supposed to be.
I haven't been able to do a project since you kissed me on a live hangout.
That's because you missed me.
Yeah, it's been about 2 months since I've done anything project-wise besides patterns and CNC, but I need to get back on that scroll saw.
Did any of you
Shop's been a
guys?
mess without you.
Did any of you guys do any whirly gigs for Laney this year?
No,
I
sir.
didn't have the time.
Yeah, it's just too hot for me.
I don't have
I wanted to. I've done everyone. I've done one every year since he started, but this year it's just too hot.
Did you see
I
the
didn't
winner?
even get to watch all the whirly gigs. I've seen a few go through my, subscription feed, but is there a playlist or anything? I didn't see that he had a playlist created.
He posted the winners late last night or early this morning.
Yeah, I saw those two videos, the update and the winners video, but I didn't see that there was a playlist.
Who were the winners?
Some
15-year-old kid.
15 or 16-year-old won the Rockler setup, which was the lathe and tools.
Wow.
And I believe Ted Alexander won, what, $25?
Cool.
Yeah, after seeing some of the winners, I got to bring my game up. The design idea I had wouldn't even place.
But yeah, that kid that won was the sawmill one, and
Yeah,
I really liked that one. That was pretty cool.
That was a sweet project.
But yeah, also for people who are watching, I don't know if you know who Sterling Davis is, but Sterling's Woodcrafts, is that what it's called?
Yes, sir.
He's running a pallet upcycle challenge all through this month, so I want to give a shout out to that. Basically, you just take a pallet or many pallets and make something out of it. Pretty much wants it just to be pallet wood.
Yeah.
And I don't know for fixtures or hardware, but mainly just using the pallet wood to build something. So.
Yeah, kudos.
And also the prizes. He's got a few prizes. I'm not going to list them all, but they're all being randomized winners. So all you got to do is just create something, and you'll be put in for a drawing.
And him and some other YouTubers are donating $1 up to $100 per video to Wounded Warriors Project.
Yeah, Wooden Warrior. Yeah.
Good for them.
And in September, if I'm in the mood, we're going to have the Birdhouse Challenge. It'll be the 3rd year, so that'll be all throughout September.
Are you allowing CNC users to get on the birdhouse?
Uh-oh.
Hell no, that's not woodworking, damn it.
Oh, Lord.
Only if you're going to build multiple birdhouses.
I'm closing that can of worms.
That's not fair.
I don't care how you make it, just make it.
That's not fair.
That's not fair?
That's not
well,
fair.
Well, life's not fair. I can't scroll as good as you. Is that fair?
That's not my problem.
Hey, speaking of which, why haven't we seen any scroll saw competitions? You two are the leaders of that, right?
Yeah, you think
really.
these guys would have something going on.
Well, I'll tell you right now, the reason why I have it is because I don't have any pull with anybody to get any kind of prizes.
Put an effort into it, Bubba.
I have. I used both my brain cells and they collided, and I just.
You know, I would donate a pin or something if you put something on.
Well, but everybody's taking everything. I mean, there's the birdhouses, the 2x4, the whirly gigs. I mean, what else are we supposed to do?
Yeah, but
Hey, I'm sorry, I got a creative mind.
yeah, and I personally don't think we can base it on talent because not everybody has been using scroll software very often. So there again, you know, we don't want to.
You know, I was brought up to that pallet challenge, and I was like, no, no, no. I got the 2x4 in the birdhouse. That's good enough for me. So that's how Sterling came up with the pallet challenge. So,
I like it. I just can't find a decent palette right now.
but yeah, for scrolling or turning, well, see, turning, you got Alan Stratton and you got Carl Jacobson doing that every year. So turning's taken care of. So we need some scrollers to get the scroll on.
Oh my God.
By God, I challenge you to do something.
I got nothing.
Even if it's $5 gift certificates to 5 winners.
I can't afford that.
You can't afford that?
You're definitely not the first that said that we should do a scrolling competition, but I don't know how to lay it out because I don't want it to be based on talent because some people are beginners.
Well, if I get something like that started, would you guys back me up on it?
I don't want to say yes only because I don't commit to things until I know for a fact I can make it work, but we can talk about it.
Well, okay, let's put it in the works. I want to get something going for scrollers.
Alrighty then.
I have given it some consideration, but like Charles said, it's like it's going to take a little bit of thought and processes to lay it out because it definitely wouldn't be fair to have just an overall scroll saw challenge because some people are a lot better than others and some people are just beginning. So we need to have anything. I know it's going to have to be something discussed, but yeah, I would be up for it. And I thought a million
Goes for any contest. You run into those bumps and bruises.
That's the same. Yeah, every one of the contests, somebody's in there for the first time.
Yeah.
You know, when I was personally picking out the prize winners my first and second years, I basically just went off of what wowed me. I'd look at a 16-year-old and see how much detail work that she put into like a checkerboard or something, and how much work she put into it, and how she was learning, and she looked like she's having fun. To me, that was a winner.
Well, I'm going to let Russ run the contest. That way I can enter it.
I'm going to disqualify Charles because he has a CNC.
You know what, Charles? If you just did a scroll saw contest and you offered one of your portraits as a prize package, that'd be well worth it because you do great work.
Well, I appreciate that, Brian, but and I mean this with all due respect. Imagine a turning competition where people win a bowl somebody else turned. I don't know.
I just thought of that after I said it.
And I know all of us can appreciate each other's talent, and I know.
Okay, like for beginner scrollers, it'd be like giving something to somebody that can inspire from.
Yeah, that or they'll sell it and get more money than I've been making.
That's probably the case.
Yeah.
I don't know. Think about it, guys. If you need help, I'm here to help you guys. Anybody who wants any help, just get a hold of me.
10-4.
I try to do my best for everybody.
I believe the last person that won a portrait thingy for me was Steve French with that John Wayne. I believe it was a birdhouse thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, the birdhouse. Yeah, he had that great big old Woody. Oh, I won your portrait from last year's Palette Upcycle Challenge.
He has no idea what he said.
What?
You said he had that great big old Woody and the perverts took it away.
No, Woody, the wood thing.
Yeah, I think you won. I think you won something from me too. I don't remember what it was though.
Yeah, it's the Palette Upcycle Challenge. I won the horses drinking from the pond.
Is that still sitting behind your couch? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
No, it's behind my speaker.
Okay.
Hey, I do not have walls to put that big thing up. Like I said, if it's something like this, I got room for it. But
Yeah.
when it's something like this, forget it. Dear God.
Just staple it to your curtains.
I guess I could glue it to one of my windows.
Or glue it. Then you'll have to take the window home with you. Or
Soon
move.
we'll be having us a house. I'll put it up.
Yeah, just hang it on the sheets behind you. Or curtains, I mean. Sorry.
It just,
Hey,
just
yeah. Hey,
clink it
those
to
are
the
my
curtains.
redneck curtains, damn you.
I got the redneck window tint foil on the windows.
Yeah, me too. Except for it's actually an emergency blanket. It's supposed to reflect the heat back out.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to.
Well, we know how Matt feels about it.
That sun gets behind me and starts baking this wall. You can fry an egg on it.
Somebody say bacon?
Yeah. Anywho, guys, that's all I got for this week. Next week, Shannon Fargo is going to be hosting. I'm going to take some time off. Guess
What
it
kind of
helped
host
if I.
takes time off from their show? I'm kidding.
I guess.
I'm
I guess
kidding.
we do, huh, Charlie?
Yeah, I was saying, in case you didn't know, I was.
Why do
on
we
myself.
take time off? Because we need a mental break
I
sometimes.
do it for my. I do it for my sanity. That's personal.
Yeah, well, if anybody's wondering, my mom's birthday's on the 14th. The 15th is the Saturday right afterwards. My mom's been gone since 2006, but I still get emotional around that time, so
Yeah,
I don't want to be around. So that's what's going on next week. And Shannon, I have all faith in you, brother. If you're watching this, that you'll do a good job.
very good host. As is Russ. Russ is a dang good host. You study.
Yeah. So that being said, let's all hop over to Charlie's and Russ's show, and I'll see you later.
Bye.
Wait.